Hi, my name is Janie McGee. This is just a short documentary on a drawing that I'm working on right now. Over the last 45 years, I've just been documenting Black history and documenting our experience, our struggles, and what we had. I first got interested in looking at the prison system and how African Americans over the last 400 years from slavery all the way up to now, and specifically the chain gangs and things that were created back in the 1800s and 1900s for African Americans. And what happened is after the Jim Crow movement, and they in 1876, I believe it was, when it was legalized at another level, African Americans were released from slavery, and then we were pretty much put back on the land through conniving and crooked ways of sharecropping and cheating of money, but also too our communities were infiltrated with alcohol and drugs. And then if you got arrested in any kind of way or for any type of fraction, you were put back in jail, and then you, including your family, would be put on the back on the plantation, i.e., sharecropping land, to be able to work off whatever debt you had. And sometimes, people worked their whole lives and never paid the debt off from the general store. But there's also that history of the chain gang, which fascinated me. One of the first paintings I did of an African American that was a young boy who was going to die within hours. I found a drawing, excuse me, of him, and I decided to just turn it into something a little bit more powerful as far as a painting that depicted the tears, the pain, and the agony of being so young. I mean, some of the African American boys who were put on the chain gang were, 7, 8, 9 years old, and that's not including our brothers. And here in this picture, my depiction of African American women who were incarcerated and put in chain gangs, incarcerated for whatever fractions they may be, which America's had a history of this. I call it James Crow, not Jim Crow, because it still continues on. I pegged this word probably about 20 years ago when I started researching some of the conditions. So this small series called Church Lady, I decided to incorporate some of those concepts and my viewpoints and an outlook on just apply to Black women, both now and African American men who are incarcerated for the smallest fractions. And I'm sure there are people who, without a doubt, have done things. But at the same time, America's history has been from the time of 1619, over 400 years to now, no matter what the situation, good or bad, negative or positive, through hatred and racism and injustice and inequality, is putting us in chains.